Hey guys, welcome back to Honey in the Rock. I'm Sophie, and this is Adonai.
Hi.
So Adonai was our MC this summer, um, and it was really sweet just to watch how she would speak so humbly, but also passionately about Jesus. And the best part was she was the same on stage and also off stage, and I think that just goes to like who she is and her character, but also just a reflection of how we should be living our lives for Christ, of like our personal, how I speak and live behind closed doors and then out in public should be the same. And it was really sweet to get to watch Adonai like be on stage and speak about Jesus so clearly, but then also like be off stage and be doing the same thing. And so it was really sweet to get to serve with her this summer, and to see her heart for the Lord. And now she's here on the podcast.
Cheers.
So thanks for coming on.
Of course.
Adonai saved me, well, sort of saved me when I fell off the stage in the shark costume. I haven't shared this story yet. But basically, it was my first time on the stage in my shark costume during one of our morning celebrations, and I couldn't see anything because it fogged up inside my costume, and I just hopped right off stage. Just fell straight on down. Next thing I know, I am on the ground and I'm like, I just fell off the stage. This is not real. And Adonai is on the mic and she's like, shark down, shark down. And I just danced my little way on out. I popped that shark costume and we got up and did it the next Thursday.
She was an actual legend because everyone was so proud of her for getting up. I was scared. I was like, this has never happened before.
No, I just wanted to keep you on your toes, like I wanted you to like roll with the punches. Improv, yeah. So that's my funny Adonai story, because then we get back to her little like room and we were like, what just happened?
Literally.
And
everything.
It gave us bonding. It gave us bonding that we needed.
You deserve that shark costume forever.
I know. I like got home and I'm like, Mom, look. And she's like, oh gosh. I'm like, is this not exciting?
I mean,
yeah, it's a shark costume. Okay, Adonai, tell us where you're from, where you went to college. She's a graduate. So tell us the things that we need to know about you.
Give you the little intro.
Yeah.
Well, my name is Adonai, and I am from Southern Illinois. I actually grew up in a town of like 300 people, so super tiny.
Yeah.
But then I ended up going to college at Liberty University in Virginia, and I studied interior design with a communication minor. I absolutely loved it. I loved my time there. And then I've been doing camp the last 3 summers, different states every time, but this past one was really sweet, and our team was precious. Loved them to pieces.
Yeah. It was so sweet. And then now she's just a big girl and gonna do big girl things. So that's so fun and probably terrifying, but also it's exciting. I'm excited to see what you're gonna do. Okay, you can dive into your testimony and you can start wherever.
Yes, everyone get comfy.
I'm ready.
I always, whenever I'm asked that question, like, tell me your story, tell me your testimony, it's like, wow, what a large question, and there are so many details in one's life, and so we're gonna pray that I share what needs to be said in this moment. But I guess I could start at the beginning. So I was born into a Christian household, and I'm not saying that just to be generic. Like, my parents lived out the word, and it was so incredible to see them. It was so radical. And I'm the youngest, but my parents had 4 kids in just under 5 years. And so we are very close in age. Yes. And so I remember like always hearing about the Lord. There wasn't a time where I didn't know his name. But whenever I was 7, it was a Sunday. I actually remember that Sunday, my uncle, who was the pastor at the time, he was preaching about heaven and hell and about how it is a decision that you make, and it's not something that you can just adopt from your family. And I just thought about that the rest of the day, and I was like, oh, like, I am a sinner and I need a savior, and I can't believe I haven't done this yet. And so I remember asking my dad, I was like, Dad, I think it's time. Like, I want to accept the Lord into my life. And he was okay. And so we went in my parents' room and we sat by their bed and we just prayed. And I just remember like joy, the
Yeah.
excitement that filled me. I was like, oh my gosh, like this is insane. I need to tell everyone. And
Right.
I jumped out from their room and I was like, I ran into the living room and I was like, guys, guess what? Like, you will not. This happened. Like, actually part of the family forever.
Thank you.
Yes. And I was just like pumped.
Mm,
But I didn't know what that meant for my
right.
life.
Mm,
Um, it was a commitment that I made, and I I was just so used to it being part of my routine. And I went to a Christian school, and my parents believed that if the church was open, I was to be in it. And so I sat there and I listened, I crossed my legs, and I was not a disruption. In fact, my mom every single Sunday would pray that we were not a distraction to the people around us. Because she was like, I don't want you to be the reason that somebody didn't like understand or hear the
right.
message. And so I was like, okay, what a responsibility. Okay, I'll just be here, be silent.
Right.
And like growing up, scripture memorization was a huge thing. I grew up on the KJV Bible, and so it was no big deal for us, like as students in the school, but also like as our family, to memorize like a chapter a month.
Wow.
That's expected. And then once you said it, you would then recite it backwards. So you would go verse 10, verse 9, verse 8, and then you would just go. And so it became very normal. It became like this contest of who could do it fastest. In fact, two of my siblings memorized the book of Proverbs in a year.
That's impressive.
It's crazy. And I was like, okay, so the standard, perfect.
Right. Good luck.
Yes. And so as the youngest, I just compared myself to my siblings so much. It was like,
Right.
oh, if they can do this, I need to be able to do it faster than them or better
Right.
than them. And so as a young girl, comparison was a huge thing. I was full of insecurities and I didn't really have a lot of people around me because it was such a small school in a small town. Um, I didn't have a lot of friends, and I began to like be bullied growing up. And I was just like, well, that's strange. Like, that doesn't really make sense. But I didn't know that it was super abnormal.
Right.
Um, it was more like, okay, put your big girl pants on. Like, this is just part of life.
Right.
Um, and so my faith was very much a list of things that I could check off. And I knew the Lord loved me, and I would say I loved Him. And I wanted anyone, if anyone asked me, hey, like, Adonai, did you read the word? I'd be like, yes, like, I can mark that off the list. Like, I did it today. Like, I'm good. But it was always built into my routine. It was always in church or in school every day. And so for me to go home and then continue to grow my faith, I just didn't. I was like, I've done it enough today.
Right. Right.
And so I became very routine based and performance based and all the things that you can just get sucked into and it becomes a really unhealthy cycle. And um, so I remember not really like seeing life as a gift. I was, this is just the way we do life. I don't really understand. Uh, like I know that the Lord has something for me, but is anyone really going to miss me? And like, what is?
Right.
I don't really feel like I'm making a difference. I'm
Right.
having everyday life. And,
Mm,
uh, I remember I got into volleyball. Oh, like this is the best thing ever.
right.
And I was going to like volleyball camps and I began to very quickly put my worth in what I could do. And
Yep.
that was very clear to me through volleyball.
Yep.
Because I was like, oh, like this is the best thing ever. And the Lord closed doors where I wasn't able to play. Um, and it was so sad. I was like, Lord, like, why would you give me this passion? Why would you give me this gift and then not allow me to use it? Like, that doesn't make any sense. And I became very bitter. And it was really just me starting to idolize things that were not the Lord. So if it wasn't volleyball, it was school. And if it wasn't school, it was church. And how many things could I be involved in? Could I do the worship team, be on the prayer team? Like that would then save me from heartache.
Yep.
An overarching like theme of my life was that I was given all the right tools. Like from the outside view, I had the perfect life, and yet I still didn't walk with the Lord faithfully. And I was still broken. I had all of these like insecurities building up, and my identity was completely shaken. But I knew my answers. I knew what to say in the moment, how to please everyone, but it wasn't like I was not bearing any fruit. I was the most like lukewarm Christian that there could be. And it wasn't until like high school that I was starting to think about the fact of, oh, there's going to be a day where I graduate and it's not going to be built into my routine.
Right.
And like, what is that going to look like? Am I still going to do all the right things? And it was just something that I sat with. And then my sophomore year, our school actually shut down. And I was like, oh no, what am I to do? And so I had a decision of, do I either go to the public school or do I homeschool? There wasn't like a private school available.
Right.
And I was really debating of like, what do I do? Because I believed so strongly that I was just going to go with the world.
Yep.
I were to school. I felt like it was going to be the worst thing. I was going to like fall off the rails, be like that really bad kid in church that everyone's like, oh, we lost her.
Right.
And like, that's what I thought of myself. I did not give myself any credit.
Right.
And so I actually created a new option. And that new option was to move 8 hours away from home and live with a host family. And it was the same type of school that I had gone to. So I was excited to finish what I'd started.
Right.
And I ended up doing that, and I graduated school in Iowa. And whenever I was away from home, I learned so much. And it was solidifying so much of the things I believed, and then also helping me work through those things that I knew because I was taught, but what do I actually believe? And then it came to college, and I was like, oh, yeah, like I definitely want to go to college. That's a thing. But
That's an idea.
yeah, and I was looking at different schools, and then I ended up going to Liberty. And my time at Liberty was interesting because my freshman year I met with somebody, and I was trying to like get into leadership, and she told me like it's gonna be a no, and I was like, what? And she, Adonai, you're very spiritually immature, and I was like crushed.
Right.
I was like, I
Right.
don't even.
In the heart. Right.
Yes, and I was like, but what do you mean? Like I grew up in the church. Like I can quote, like, go ahead, give me a chapter. Like
Like I'll get. Yeah.
how
No.
could that be spiritually immature? And
Right.
like actually crushed. And I was like, Lord, like why would that be? Because I was still in the Word every day, but
Right.
how could I still not have fruit?
Mm.
And like I thought I was faithful in that season, and so I surrendered my life in the sense of, okay, God, you say that your Word is our guide,
Right.
not living and active, but yet I've never actually read it cover to cover. Like I was very convicted because that was one of the boxes I couldn't check.
Right.
I could check the memorization, I could check the serving in church, I could check the had a good family,
Mm.
all the things, but I couldn't check read the Word cover to cover.
Right.
And I also, like, at this time, right before college, was competing in spoken words, actually, what you guys see me do all summer.
Right.
And it wasn't like until my senior year that I actually was able to do it for the Lord. But
Right.
like I'd go up there and I'd cry,
Yeah.
and people would be like, that was just so good.
Right.
I would have judges, and I would know how I did, and I'd wait for my award to see how I placed.
Yeah.
But it was just like me going through the motions.
Yeah.
And so I took a break from that. And I just was like, okay, Lord, I have all these desires. Like I have these goals, but yet are any of them from you? And so I pretty much just like gave a year and a half of my life to the Lord and said, like, I was just gonna soak in the word.
Yeah.
And I was like, it's not something I can check off in a day. And it's not even about me checking it off, but it's
Right.
about me to know the Lord more.
Gosh.
Instead of him being this person that I was like, okay, this is a hard day. I'm gonna reach out to you now.
Right.
It was actually this thing is called a relationship. And that equals time spent. I knew all the things the Lord did for me, but yet I didn't actually take them to heart, because if I did, if I had known and seen God, I would have changed these habits of my life. Heart posture would have been different. And so I began to read the word, and he just melted me in
Yeah.
so many ways. And I was like, then tore apart from my sin even more of like, Lord, why are you growing me? Why are you showing me these things about you whenever I don't even deserve to know? I don't like, how was I born into this life?
Right.
And I began to see life as a gift. And I was like, wow, everything that you've given me it's you. It wasn't something that I could do.
Right.
I thought I could. Like, I thought
Yeah.
if I did this, but yet I was like I am nothing without you. These things that I thought were what how I would describe myself of like introvert, extrovert, like my accomplishments, the Lord can completely change that and take it all away. And he did.
Right.
And I was like, wow, like that's actually not my identity. That's so crazy.
Look
Like,
there.
what? How
Mm.
does that work? And then he was like, are you willing to be my child?
Mm.
Like, sometimes you're trying to be like this equal,
Yeah.
or like pride is thinking about yourself like too highly or too low.
Right.
And um, a wise person in my life said, Adonai, you don't determine the value of others.
Gosh.
That's already been set. And I was like, whoa.
Ooh. Yeah.
Because there were seasons in my life where I thought of people really high, like my
Mm.
siblings, and there were parts of my life that I thought of other people really low.
Mm.
And it's like, I actually don't have any say in that.
Right.
Like, they are made in God's image, and yet I'm like either tearing them apart as a like deflection of me, or like I'm sitting here pulling myself apart.
Right. Right.
I went through these motions of like, you're the best thing since sliced bread. Like, oh my
Right.
gosh.
Right. Mm.
And so the more that I fell in love with the Lord, the more I fell in love with all the things around me and what he had given.
Yeah.
And like it just changed, because I was like, once I had read the word,
Mm.
like it's not something that I can just, okay, it's done. All done, like all good.
Right.
I struggled a lot with, fun fact, my name means Hebrew for Lord.
Mm.
Um, and I struggled a lot with people with biblical names, because I was like, oh, like your name's Caleb, perfect. Like, what did you learn about your character in the Bible?
Right.
Or like my siblings had biblical names. I was like, okay, like yours is confined to like a book of the Bible.
Right.
Like, do you feel like you have a good grasp of that? And I was like, how am I ever supposed to have a good grasp of this?
Right.
Like,
Right.
I never can.
Right.
And I struggled with that a lot. And then the Lord was like, Adonai, all of these people can learn and glean so much from their character. They can't have a relationship with their character.
Right.
It's an opportunity to have a relationship with me, which means that our relationship is going to continue to grow, and you're going to learn more about me. And like, there's also going to be a part of your little finite brain that you can never fully understand.
Right.
But like, you get to spend eternity with me.
Mm.
And I was like, okay, perspective.
Right. Like, yeah.
And so, like, through camp ministry, I had my ups and downs. Like, my first summer, I would get off stage and I would just tear myself apart. I'd be like, oh, I didn't do this right. I messed up this word, all the things. And my like director was like, it really sounds like you just don't think the Lord can use your mess ups.
Oh.
And I was like, oh wow, that's crazy. But it was just
Mm.
so much of my life, I just wanted control.
Mm.
And now I'm like, I don't know where I'm going.
Mm.
I know who I am. I
Right.
know whose I am.
Right.
And for him to still use me, even though, like, for him to use people in the Bible, I'm like, why? Like, you set them apart,
Yeah.
but why? And he's like, because, like, I chose them.
Right.
It says it all in his word. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And so, like, this journey of sanctification is a wild one.
Yeah.
And I'm humbled every day that the Lord still chooses to use us,
Mm.
not need us.
Right.
But, like, more important than what I could do is who I know.
Gosh. That's
Like,
good.
he he actually changed my life, and I went from death to life in so many areas again and again. Like, it says, die to yourself. Like, it wasn't just a one-time thing, even though I'm really grateful for this free gift of salvation that cost my life. But yet, like, it does change how you live your life. And I like my, not anthem, but like, I'm just a work in progress. Like, I don't ever want to pretend or pose that I am understanding of everything.
Right.
'Cause and I'm just a child learning from their father.
Gosh.
Like,
That's so good.
to be able to communicate with my heavenly father who has said, yeah, like, you're gonna have suffering in this life, trials, but like, that produces character, and character produces hope. And it says hope does not put us to shame in his word. And so, um, I think when I say what the Lord has done in my life, it ever changes in the sense of he just is always doing stuff in my life. So, like, the word testimony, I don't really know how to fully grasp it or explain it. But that's kind of like the little mark note, depending on how long I just talked.
Yeah.
Of my,
That was beautiful.
yeah.
Um, Gosh, I just want to soak up every word that comes out of your mouth. Um, the spirit is like so clear in the way that you speak and just point it back to him. And the theme that it kept standing out was like restoration of joy. Because like the beginning you shared you were 7-year-old and you were excited. You want to run and tell everyone that you're like this joy, this like childlike faith at the
Mhm.
root base level of it. It's just, yeah, I need a savior. Yay, this is so exciting. And then all of these things that you walked through was just restoring this joy of the reminder of this your first love, which was in Jesus. And
Mhm.
then now where you are and you'll still continue to be, and as we're sanctified, it's never we're never there until we get to heaven. But just that process of like, okay, well I tried to check the boxes, and a routine based faith or performance based faith takes away joy
Mhm.
from the moments of just the pure form of following Jesus, or comparison, comparing ourselves to others, or finding all the insecurities in our own life is taking away the joy of who we were created in as Jesus, as his image bearer, or like struggling with, does it even matter if I'm here? Like, would anything change if I was gone? Takes away the joy that the Lord set before us,
Mhm.
um, as we are created with a purpose, because we are again called to go and make disciples. And I just feel like so many parts of your story point back to like restoring joy.
Mhm.
Like we try to take control and we try to do these things, and we think sometimes we're doing the right thing, or we want to look a certain way. So people are like, good job, Adonai. Good job, Sophie. She's sitting in church. She's taking her notes. She's doing
Mhm.
the right thing. But then all those things take away the joy. But then just coming back to the purest form of
Mhm.
following Jesus and soaking up his word and sitting at his feet and abiding in him as a daughter of the king is first, and that's where this joy is. And I think that's just really sweet, to like listen to your story and see, okay, it is so easy for us to check the boxes, and it is so easy for us to have a heart posture that's actually prideful because selfishly we want this attention, or whatever that looks like, and then being like, who am I to speak of myself in this way, in a negative way, because I was created in the image of God. If
Mhm.
I'm looking in the mirror and I'm tearing myself apart by this, this, and this, who am I to say that God messed up? He's
Mhm.
a perfect God. He didn't start messing up when he created me. And so then it's actually just prideful of me to also be speaking of myself in that way.
Yeah.
And it's so humbling. And sanctification is such a humbling process, but it's a really sweet thing of being like, this is where the Lord's already brought you. Like, where else is he going to go? Like, it's almost exciting of like, okay, whoa, you brought me from here to here. You've restored my joy in this way. So how much more is he going to do that? And then how much sweeter is heaven going to be when literally created new? And I'm like, wait, I long for that day. So now I need to live intentionally and on purpose now because I've been changed by this good news that you either heard your whole life or you heard for the first time last month. It's
Yeah.
like we can just accept this gift. It's not about what we can do. It's not about if we look perfect or have it all together. It's just about surrendering and saying, I'm broken and I'm in need so desperately of a savior. Um, so thank you for sharing that. It's like actually beautiful. And I just am like, whoa, just
Mm.
the way to articulate things that the Lord has done in your life is a gift and something He's gifted you with to be able to say that well, to speak clearly of what He's done, which points back to who He is. It's like, oh yeah, Adonai said that, but it's clearly the spirit inside of her.
Mm.
And I'm just so encouraged by that.
Aw,
So thanks for sharing that.
of course.
Um, That's interesting that because like you had to memorize scripts to be an MC, and now I'm like, well, of course you were good at that if you had to memorize so much when you were little. Like that was just a thing.
Yeah, it's like talk about redemption and
Mm,
how I did it for so many years to win something. Like,
right,
and then I thought that that was going to be a door that was closed forever, and I was okay with it.
right,
Lord, so graciously,
mm,
and He's just so kind to open that door to
mm,
allow me to do it, but in the most healthy way
right,
to point back to Him, where I didn't need to do it in front of judges. In fact, like most of the time, I get off stage and no one gives me critiques, and
right,
I wasn't used to that.
right,
But it's like it's not even about that because, like, it's about making His name known, and yet I'm just a vessel to do that,
right,
and that's what that position is. And like, it was such a blessing for me because like I get to see every single student in one view.
right,
Like y'all are sitting in the crowd
right,
looking at the stage, but like
mm,
looking at you,
right.
see the
Gosh,
difference in the faces from the beginning to the end of a set
mm,
of like, wow, the Lord is doing something within these people, and we're all here for just a short time.
right,
And like y'all go out to Bible study and you guys get to scatter and all these fun things. I got to witness everyone right here, right now,
mm,
like experiencing the Lord.
right,
There's nothing that I could do because I could literally go up there and say nothing, and it's happened before.
right. Okay.
That's not what it's about. It
That's
was
beautiful.
that the Lord just like allowed me to do this
Yeah.
without it being a competition.
Right. Because that really is like that is another restoring thing of just like, okay, well, this is something I did when I was little to be as cool as my siblings, or this is something I did to be judged so I could be the best. And now it's like, how kind of the Lord to let you do something that you enjoy doing, probably, if you're still doing it, but in a way that is honoring to Him and also healthy for you, like as a human. So that's really cool.
Yeah,
That's
he
so sweet.
literally could have had that door closed forever.
Right.
Yeah, he didn't, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, thank you.
Thank you. So kind. Well, thank you for sharing. And I just love you. I just wish I lived closer to you.
Yeah, are we like gonna become neighbors tomorrow? Is that what we're doing?
Right. Sure.
Immediately.
Road trip.
Well,
Well, thanks for coming on
of course.
and serving and just being willing to let the Lord use your life and grow you and shape you to look more like His Son. It's really sweet to watch and just know you. So,
Is on my end to know you, to watch you day in and day out,
mm,
literally hyping those kids up and jumping around. It was very fun to watch.
I was trying. I think my voice is permanently damaged. Like it's just not better. I might need to go on like vocal rest.
Oh,
Um, but it was sweet. Well, thanks for coming on, and thank you guys for listening, and I'll see you next week. Bye.
Bye.